Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this chat. With me, I've got Daniel Kutsia from Mighty Fine, the production director of an incredibly powerful powerhouse in the industry in terms of what you guys do production-wise, a lot of automotive stuff that you guys do. And obviously for that, you need some serious senior kit. And Daniel, please just give us a run through about this stuff, because it is such an incredible piece of kit.
So we invested in this Hydra mini arm. I think since we actually started getting more like automotive clients, we decided to make the leap to this. Obviously it only caters for a very specific budget. Obviously it's expensive to run, expensive to buy, but I can show you around.
Yes, please.
So usually this setup will be inside of your car. This is your crane operator, so you can swing it left and right on the side, up and down. But I think what makes it interesting is you can get a back shot, like tracking from the front of the car, and 30 seconds later you're getting a shot from the back. So you don't have to, like the Hydra Alien, you don't have to actually move your components around, you just spin your crane around. And then on this side we have the DJI 4D. That's a camera that we're rolling full camera control on this controller. But this will usually be on the inside of your car. There will be crane operator, camera operator, and then in front we'll have a spotter and a driver.
That's intense. So it's a full-on team of guys working on this entire set. And obviously the set is just, it's moving, it's rolling on. So you guys can go at what speeds with this system?
We haven't tested the speed, but it's quite secure. I think we opted for the clamp system. It comes with its own suction cup system. They say it's good enough to go, but we decided to go for the clamps because we only use this car. It's easy to set it up. We can probably set it up in like half an hour to an hour, then we're ready to roll. I can show you inside if you want to.
Yes, please.
So usually we'll have the boom operator on this side, so he'll have the boom controller here, and then the camera operator will sit where you're sitting, and they two, like, they communicate with each other to coordinate the shots. And then in front where the other monitor is, that's where we then have the spotter. He's basically just looking if there's any cables or poles or whatever that's sticking
any
out.
obstructions for the crane.
Yeah, because obviously the risk of the crane is that if the crane comes out further than your car, there's potential to hit pedestrians, cars, or anything in the way. So it's a high risk situation. So we have a spotter and a driver.
I can imagine. That's incredible. How long does it take a team to kind of operate this entire system? Does it take a couple of days or weeks, years?
To learn it, would you say? We've been working with it for a few months. So I think the biggest thing is more to understand the application of it, where you need it. I think we freak out about gear. So initially we spent too much time on it actually. Like per shoot, we would rather want to prioritize having one tracking shot at 45 degrees on a car, and then you have to move on and do other stuff. You can't think your whole production is just on the crane.
Do you find that actually happens quite a lot with new guys joining the team, that they kind of get into that gear mode? I mean, we love gadgets and gear and everything. And like you mentioned, guys buy a drone and then all of a sudden everything's drone shots, drone shots, drone shots.
I think it's not even a newbie thing. I think for us, when we bought this, we were kind of thinking we need to track all the shots and just track, but there's so much value in like alternative points of view. So like having someone shooting from the side of the road, getting a close-up of the wheel moving, thinking what actually tells the story, because it should only be a tool. It shouldn't be like your whole production. It shouldn't be just a crane.
It shouldn't be revolving around this, like it's revolving around the vehicle. See, check the clever wordplay there. So in terms of learning this, it's a pretty easy system. You've got everything else out here. I just don't want to bring it down any further. But you've got your up and down on the one stick. You've got your other stick rotating it around. And it's as easy as that. You've got all the controls here. You can control the dampening. You can control the speed.
And you obviously have your limits. These red lines here is your limits of where your boom can move. So currently we've set the low point a bit higher than normal because we just don't want people to hit their heads, but usually our lowest point will be determined by the height of the car or the clamping area. And then if we say now we're tracking on the right of the road, we'll set up a limit so that the boom can't swing out and hit anything on the side of the road on this side.
It's such a cool system. What screens and everything else are you using here? I mean,
so this is a DJI transmission. I think we opted for that because we needed, the biggest thing with tracking shots, whatever system you use, is having full control over your camera, whether it is the tracking element of it or the control, so like focus, exposure, whatever. And this DJI transmission, any of their transmissions, allows you to have full control over your camera while being remote. These are still the short extensions. DJI still hasn't been able to bring in the extended ones. But if you have the extended ones, you can get like a 5K range on the system. So we can have the camera operator sitting here and they can track around Kailami, and we can have full control from here the whole time, live feed. So it's like it's a drone on a camera. A drone camera. I don't know.
But it is intense. It's a kind of a complex setup. I mean, you guys have cables and everything else running here. What power system are you running for these?
So that's something to consider with any kit that you buy. Initially, when we bought the Tilta kit, you kind of think it's a complete kit. Nothing wrong on their side, but you have to understand that it does pull a lot of power, so you need to have a sizable EcoFlow.
Okay.
Because it has very high spikes in power when you start the motors to spin. So it's not your smallest, I think it's the second biggest, or it's not the smallest one, it's like kind of the mid-range EcoFlow.
It's a high capacity EcoFlow.
And that then, currently it's running everything now, screens and our whole kit, so nothing is running on V-locks inside the car.
Okay, it's just the camera.
Yeah, the camera is running on its own power, but obviously they have the little V-lock attachment for bigger production cameras. But I think something to consider from this Arm Mini is the idea is for it to be small. So you shouldn't think like, everyone's asking like, what can you load on it? The idea isn't to load a Sony Burano. The idea is to have a smaller setup, so like mirrorless cameras, everything up to like a C400 or a FX6, because it's more of a compact solution, and I think that's where productions are moving to with budgets shrinking. You have to understand that this is pitching in a very specific place of production. It's a mid-range. It's not like your big production cranes, but it's also not your like one-man band show.
Yeah.
But sorry, lastly, I think you have to. The size of the setup obviously increases the complexity, like you explained. So the crane is kind of the most complex element that we have, and then our second option is the Hydra Alien, and then our smallest one is the little suction cup with a DJI pocket. And people look at it and they think like, what the hell, this thing is not going to give me any good picture, but we surprise every single time we use that pocket for smaller social media shoots. The quality of shot that you get out of that thing is really good.
We're actually heading up to the skid pans now for the BMW drifting experience, and we're going to get into one of the cars there to do a review on the X5 from Insta360 and the small Tilta suction cup mount. So are you guys going to head up there as well?
Yeah,
and,
we'll see you there.
Awesome. We'll go and grab some footage. Thank you for running us through this complex system. You make it look so easy. It is pretty cool.
They've refined it. Like, I think Tilta does a good job at having content online where you can kind of study how to set it up, and no one taught us this. People in South Africa don't have this crane system, so we had to learn it online. And Tilta has so many explainer videos where you really, from putting the right screws in the right places to hanging your camera, they have really good tutorials to show you. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Daniel. Guys, check it out. Thank you for watching this video. Hit like and subscribe. Drop us a comment in the section below. You're on it somewhere. And tell us what you think of this system. Check it out. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Cheers.